I've just added a couple of layers of 600, mainly to where the vent will be cut out and the main body of it. I've left the sides thin just so they can flex. So when I put them in the body, I can glass them, the mounting flanges in, so that way they're a perfect fit. Yeah, I'll do that on the finished car. They'll still be removable, but yeah, they'll be glassed to suit the body perfectly. So yeah, I've just left those so they can move around. The rest of it, I don't want it to move at all, so they're a bit thickened up now. So I'll leave these, and then yeah, I'm gonna start getting this body done. Here I'm just sanding I just use house primer on the overall the drywall putty. Now that I'm just sanding that down, and then I'll just spray it with like a white spray can just to get a nice finish to start waxing. And just do a section at a time. And when I don't get overwhelmed, I can just do a section and then progress to the next section. So yeah, it's going well now. I also have the luxury of not caring really what the finish is, because I'm going to be doing all the body work and spraying the body anyway when it's made. So unlike any other fiberglass part where it's got to come out smick, this one doesn't really matter. I've got to make a few bodies, and then that's it. The mold's only got to last like 3 or 4 bodies. So the first part I'm going to make is this whole tail section. The bottom, these bottom bits here, just from that line, go up and over the tail light. That whole section is going to be one piece. You can just see it's got a nice release angle on it. I've just put a radius around where the tail lights go in, and hopefully that helps it release. And then yeah, the sides are pretty easy. It's just the tops of the sides where you got these vents. They do have release angles on them, but still, it's going to be gonna make sure they wax really good. Here I'm just using playing cards to make a flange around the first piece of the mold. I'm just going to do this whole tail light section and the bottom of the guards here all in one piece. And then I can use that flange, take those cards off, and then continue to the sides and the top. So that's the first piece to do, and then we'll go on from there. Here I'm going to start to lay on the wax. I'm going to do about, I don't know, 6 or 7 coats of wax, and yeah, get some gel coat on it and get back to glassing. There's a layer of gel coat. I'll leave this overnight, let it fully cure, and then I'll put a layer of 300 on it just to seal it off. And during the week I'll add some layers of 600 until I think it's thick enough, and then move on to the next piece. There's a layer of 300. Tomorrow I'll get the layers of 600 on it, and then we can move on to the next piece. You can see here I've started removing the playing cards. The benefit of the playing cards is it leaves these little ridges here, so when the next piece gets molded to it, it'll index in. So they will be bolted together, but it just helps. Any little bit that can index the piece to its neighbor will help a lot. So yeah, there's a little added benefit to it. Now that I've got the cards off, there's a few little spots where the hot glue was that I just have to touch up, and then I'll do the next piece, which will be both these hatches in one piece. I'll just do it in one piece, that way I can put a little partition up in that mold to make the 2 hatches separate. It'll just make it easier to mold it here as one piece. So that'll be the next one, to make a little flange around, and then I'll get stuck into that. I've just laid up a few more layers of 600. I'll wait until this tacks off, and then I'll do another layer or so around the edges just to strengthen it up, but that's all turning out pretty good. Tomorrow I'll form up the hatch and yeah, start that. Here I'm forming up the rear hatch. I'm just using this plastic sign, plastic material. I've cut it into strips and I'll lay it all around the piece and then start waxing it to get it made. There's the flange made. It's all hot glued in. I've just done a silicone wipe around the edge. Now just make sure I'm happy with everything and then start waxing it up. There's a layer of gel coat. Tomorrow when I get home I'll put a layer of a 300 on it. And yeah, beef it up over the weekend, then just go to the next piece again. It hasn't been that bad looking at it in sections, so you just concentrate on one section, do that, and then move on. It's not taking too long, so hopefully in the next few weeks I'll have this mold done and then can start prepping the molds for an actual body. All the gel coat's going off. I'm just going to lay this up wet on the part itself. It's just easier so I can do it in big sheets like this, and then I'll just go around and do all the flanges. So the first layer will be pretty quick, and then I'll come back tomorrow and just beef it up a bit, and then pick which section I want to do next. There you go. There's one layer of 300. Got a big enough flange here so I can cut it back down when it's neighbouring pieces made. Yeah. Hopefully I get some time tomorrow afternoon after work to put another few layers on it and get this thing done. And this is a bit of a spoiler for the chassis I'm going to use. It's a 91 MR2. Yeah, 4 disc brakes, limited slip, 5-speed, aircon. It's got a V6 swap in it. It's a fast little car, so it should make for a good donor vehicle. Wheelbase is a little bit off, but we'll get to that when we get to it, and we'll see what we're going to do with it. But for the cost of this, I can pretty much build the whole car for, you know, a lot cheaper than if I had to build everything myself. I actually might leave this video here. It's just going to be the same over and over and over again. It'll get a bit boring to make a video out of, but the next video I'll come back when it's the majority of it's molded, and yeah, go from there. Once it's all got a mold over it, it'll be the fun part will start. I actually feel like I'm actually getting to the car. So yeah, thanks for watching again. Yeah, hopefully the next video is a bit more exciting as well. Just doing this over and over again isn't going to be a great video, so we'll leave it there. Cheers.